Back in the day, Fisker was one of the first companies to grab the attention of the automotive community with innovative design solutions regarding electrification, sustainability, and luxury. Most of us know it for Karma, which was a pretty advanced hybrid back in the day and even managed to mark decent sales numbers. After that, the company came out with several concepts and ideas. And even though those ideas never materialized, and despite all the financial difficulties, Fisker never gave up on its commitment to sustainable transportation. And now, it looks like the time for success has come. The 2024 Fisker Ocean is here, and for the first time it looks like this company has something that doesn't look like a niche, but rather something that could become mainstream. The Ocean has the potential to bring electric waves to the masses and begin a new era of sustainable driving. Like all previous models, concepts, and ideas, this model also comes from the company's headquarters in California. But on the other hand, the production takes place in Austria by Magna Steyr. That may not qualify the Ocean for the federal tax credit, but that doesn't matter at all, because it brings a lot of European flavor, which makes it look way more mature and therefore way more competitive. But most importantly, this SUV is like nothing we've seen from Fisker so far. It doesn't play on the luxury card, nor it tend to be too technologically advanced. No, the new Ocean comes with one simple goal: to convince traditional ICE drivers to buy their first EV and enjoy all the benefits of the EV ride. And to accomplish that mission, it has the most important ingredient: affordable price. In order to attract the masses, the Fisker Ocean needs to check many boxes, and from what we can see, it really does. The first thing that you'll notice is that, despite the mainstream price, this SUV looks very upscale. Just one look, and it's easy to notice that a lot of inspiration was taken from models like Range Rover Evoque, which combines elegance and futuristic design solutions in such a nice fashion. The Ocean features similar proportions, which make it probably the first EV of this size that doesn't look awkward. No, it looks as attractive as any premium internal combustion engine-powered car, or maybe even more than that. While the side profile seems a little stretched when compared to the aforementioned Evoque, the front-end design takes a little bit more aggressive design approach, with a massive piece of black plastic with a mesh pattern that replaces what would typically be an air intake. As for the proportions, it doesn't seem as bulky as most family cars designed by Americans. After all, the founder and owner is a Dane, so it doesn't surprise that the SUV is designed to meet European preferences as well. The vehicle is 188 inches long and features a 115-inch wheelbase. For Americans, that's a little bit more than a compact SUV. For Europeans, it is a perfect measure for a family SUV and clearly says that the company has the ambition to attack the global market with this model. So far, it's in Europe and North America, but we expect its debut in Australia too, as well as in a few more markets. The European design approach becomes even more notable once you get inside the Fisker Ocean. Aside from that taco tray on the armrest, the cabin is rather simple and elegant. And if you were expecting to see Range Rover vibes on the inside as well, that's not happening. With the starting price that's just a few grand over the all-electric Kia Soul, it's kinda logical that this Fisker, unlike some previous models, is way more down to earth when it comes to interior build quality, aesthetics, and materials. The first thing worth mentioning regarding the company's effort to minimize its footprint and the overall impact on the environment is the fact that a big portion of the inside is made of recycled materials. Recaptured sea plastic has been used for the seats and the rest of the cloth, while all textiles feature a minimalist design without complicated stitching. Furthermore, the speakers are mounted on the B side of the panel. So, besides the massive use of recycled material, which goes over 100 pounds per each Ocean produced, the super simplified production process also makes a highly positive effect on sustainability. But even such a simple design approach looks attractive. In a typical EV fashion, there is a minimalist dashboard design which is complemented by a few nice touches. The steering wheel looks nice with that old-school column-mounted shifter. The digital gauge cluster may be small, but the infotainment screen is huge. It's rather a console than just a screen because it doesn't include just a touchscreen, but also a couple of physical buttons and knobs for things like climate controls, power accessories, etc. That's something conservative buyers will certainly appreciate a lot, because most EV makers went too far in this aspect and rely solely on touchscreen controls, which isn't always the most intuitive and ergonomic solution. Also worth mentioning is that the screen rotates so you can use it either as a portrait or a landscape unit, whichever way works best for you. As for the seating configuration, the Fisker Ocean will come with 2 rows of seats, though we still don't have the numbers regarding the second row passenger room and the cargo volume. We hope they will be competitive because otherwise we won't use the word family when describing this SUV anymore. On the other hand, the front seats promise all the comfort you could ask for, with power-adjustable heated and cooled seats, power-adjustable steering column, power tailgate, and more. From the standpoint of an average car lover, it's hard to buy this story about sustainability if there isn't something more. If there isn't an X factor that every car needs to be attractive. From what we know so far, the 2024 Fisker Ocean won't be just a dull, eco-friendly car. No, it will have that X factor, which will come in the form of the California mode. This mode is all about driving pleasure because, with just one touch of the button, this SUV becomes pretty much a convertible. It opens its massive sunroof and lowers all glass surfaces of the SUV except for the windshield. In that way, you get an almost genuine convertible experience, which isn't something we used to see on all-electric SUVs or most conventional counterparts. Another feature you won't find in most other EVs are solar panels on the roof. Fisker has been insisting on this feature for a long time. For most other manufacturers, solar panels cost a lot and can't gather too much energy, which is, to some point, true. In other words, its installment doesn't seem particularly payable. Even the new Ocean won't be able to gather energy for any more than 2,000 miles on a yearly basis. It isn't much, but on the other hand, it's free. So why wouldn't you use it? Despite the attractive price tag, the new Fisker Ocean won't lack power at all. Even the most basic versions will be good for about 275 horsepower, which will come from a single electric motor mounted on the front axle. We presume that most buyers would find 0 to 60 in less than 7 seconds, plenty enough. But Fisker has prepared something for more demanding drivers as well. 2 versions with dual motor setup are here too, called Ultra and Extreme, and the most powerful version of this SUV is capable of hitting 60 in just 3.7 seconds, thanks to the max output that goes all the way up to 564 horsepower and 543 pound-feet of torque. Besides pretty impressive acceleration, dual motor versions will be able to tow up to 4,000 pounds, while low-resistance tires will certainly make some contribution to the efficiency, and therefore, the overall sustainability. But the story doesn't end there. Besides these comfort-oriented models, the company also prepares a model called the Ocean Force E, which will be an off-road version of the SUV. Logically, it will feature 2 electric motors and all-wheel drive, while the list of upgrades will also include goodies like massive 33-inch all-terrain tires with futuristic 20-inch 3-spoke wheels and complete underbody steel protection. Furthermore, the bumpers have been reshaped to increase approach and departure angles, while the massive cladding only contributes to the model's rugged nature even more. So far, everything about the 2024 Fisker Ocean sounded great, maybe even too good to be true if we consider the price tag. But there is always a catch, and in the case of this EV, the compromise will come in the form of the battery technology, which will be rather mediocre. From what we know, base models will be equipped with a 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack, while the range-topping versions feature a 106 kilowatt-hour pack, plenty enough for more than 350 miles of range. That's great, but the problem starts once you realize that this EV is based on a 400-volt architecture, which puts this SUV a little bit behind the segment frontrunners, which mostly rely on more advanced 800-volt architecture. In practice, this means that the Ocean won't feature the quickest charging time around. It will support rates of up to 200 kilowatts, which indicates that 10 to 80% charging will be taking more than half an hour. But there may be a solution after all, because Fisker has joined forces with Ample, and they will bring a version of the Ocean with swappable batteries. For now, such Oceans will be offered as fleet vehicles, but we presume this will become offered to regular buyers at some point in the future as well. As we already mentioned a few times in this video, price is definitely one of the key selling points of this all-electric SUV. Base models on the US market will cost around $38,000, though you will have to wait a little bit more for them. Meanwhile, the only version available at the moment is Ocean Extreme, with a price tag of $69,000. What do you think about the new Fisker Ocean? Can it become a major player in the segment of affordable all-electric family EVs? Is a 400-volt architecture a deal breaker for you? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.